Oh, what's that? I can't even see the floor. What's wrong?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my art channel. My name is Samuel. I'm an independent comic book creator and artist. If you're new to this channel, I'm known for books like There's an Alien in My Toilet, Cosmic Wars, and Forbidden, and a bunch of children's books that I've created. And I currently do have an Indiegogo going on right now for issue number 6 of There's an Alien in My Toilet. Link is in the chat. I would love for you to get a copy. Anyway, today's segment, I got a new chair. And we're going to be talking about the importance of the right chair for artists. It is so important. But that's not all. I'm also going to be sharing my experience at Scream in Texas, which was a horror ranch for Halloween, which was pretty fun. And answer some questions at the end that I received on my DMs. Yeah, so the importance of an artist chair. I don't know about you, but for the comfort is the most important thing when you're an artist sitting down for long periods of time, or a podcaster. Until now, I had my dining room table chairs in my office, and I've been getting back pains and pains on my leg, and I knew that I wanted to get a chair. But I needed to do some research. And so, in doing so, I found this specific chair. It's called the Neo chair. And the Neo chair is basically what sold me on it, and I was looking for a while, for a long time. It said high back mesh chair, adjustable height, and ergonomic design, home office, computer desk chair, executive lumbar support, padded flip arm rest, and swivel chair. So the lumbar, the highness, because I'm tall, and the lumbar support and the comfort is what got me. And then when I was looking at the reviews, I had 4.3 out of 5 stars. 1,352 people have reviewed this. Then I watched some of the feedback from actual buyers, people who actually purchased the chair. And I was reading a lot of the feedback, and everybody had a lot of good things to say about it. And compared to a lot of other chairs out there, it's always a risk. You never know what you're gonna get. If you watched any of the videos when I designed my first studio, well, my third studio, when I built out that full podcast studio, trying to replicate what Joe Rogan had as far as a setup, I had standard executive leather chairs. And I got them on Facebook Marketplace, and I bought it from somebody who no longer needed it. And I think it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 6 chairs, or 5, 6 chairs, leather chairs for like $150 total. They're good as far as look for that executive look, but they did not provide the comfort that I needed, and I learned the hard way. So when I moved from New Jersey to Texas, I sold those chairs, or I gave a lot of them away and I sold the rest of them. But I didn't have an opportunity to get me a new chair because I didn't want to have the same issue. So I took my time, and I was just using my dining room chairs. And what I learned from doing that, I needed pillows for the comfort on my tush. I needed back support. It just wasn't, I couldn't slide. I couldn't adjust the armrests. It was just very uncomfortable, but I used it for 2 years. 2 years, I don't know what possessed me, but I was, when you move and to a new state, there's a lot of other expenses. So I was like, you know what, I can sacrifice right now. I don't need to get it. It's not an immediate. So I went online and I looked, and I found a lot of different types of chairs, but I found this specific chair. What I find it does for me is my back feels so much better. My back feels so much better. There's this curve on my back, and I can adjust the height of the lumbar support on my back, and it feels so good. The armrest, I can adjust the positioning of it, and that feels so good. It's, you know, the armrest also, like if I want to slide into my desk, I can raise the arms so that way I can slide in comfortably and the arms don't hit the bottom of the desk, so I can get in comfortably. I have that swivel so I can go back and forth from my podcast station to my art station, and I feel rejuvenated. You know, I think it was torture trying to find the right pillows for my other chairs, and you know, I can't tell you the neck cramps, right? The pains, you know, your shoulder starts getting numb when you're drawing for a long time. This, I can actually rest my elbow on it while I illustrate, which is pretty fantastic. I'm actually digging this new chair. So it's so important. I mean, there's a science behind seating, right? And why it's so important to have the right seating. I think about like when you travel on an airplane. I can't tell you how many times, you know, you get on a plane and, you know, it seems like the leg room has gotten smaller and smaller. And I'm 6'2", so and the width of the seat has gotten smaller, right? And so if you're traveling, you know, more than 3 hours, flying more than 3 hours, after a while your derriere starts, you know, feeling it, right? So if you have a wallet in your pocket, you start feeling that wallet, you know, after 3 hours. Your legs cramp, whatever. So it's very important to have the right comfort when you're traveling, you know. And I'm excited. I love this chair. Again, if you want to know how to get this chair, it's on Amazon.com. I'll put the link in the chat, and you can get yourself a copy. But this is a great time to talk to you about There's Nailed It in My Toilet, book number 6, which is currently on Indiegogo. I would love for you to get a copy of my book. If you like my work, if you support this art channel, I would love for you to get this book. And if you've never read any of the books, all back issues are available. Issues 1 through 6 are available on this campaign, plus the graphic novel, so the first volume, which has actually the first 5 issues in it. It's fun for all ages. Every comic book has trivia and puzzles and activities at the end of the book, so there's 3 bonus pages of that. This specific issue has illustrations of duty by fantastic independent creative artists that have supported, that entered a contest. I hosted a contest earlier this year, so their art is featured in it. The art of Lupin, she's the contest winner, is in it. So support your local independents. That's me. And get yourself a copy today. Anyway, so back to this. So as you can see, this was pretty simple to put together. It wasn't difficult at all. What I was frustrated with is finding that one hole, right? So you know, the 5 sockets were easy to find, but the 6th one was challenging, and I was racking my brain trying to get it to go in. I kept looking at the sides of the screws, but it was pretty easy. The instructions were easy to read. It was easy to put together. It took me approximately 30 minutes. 30 minutes from start to finish to put this whole thing together, the chair. And you know, I can tell you right now, in all transparency and being honest, when I bought it, the chair, I left it in the closet for a couple weeks because the time that it would take to put it together, I wanted to put that time to drawing. You know, I didn't want to miss out an opportunity of getting some illustrative work done. And anything that takes me away from drawing is very frustrating for me. So I procrastinated with this one, but I eventually said, you know what? You know, it's let's do this. Let's get it done. Let's put it together, because my back will thank me for it in the end. So this is it, and it's so comfortable. It's amazing. All right, so that was my time at Scream. It was fun. I was there with my family, and we took our niece there for her birthday, and it was such a blast, and it was so much fun. If you that was me laughing in the background. I was like a big kid. I've done that about 6 times already, and I never get bored of it. But not 6 times in the same year, but throughout the years. So in this portion, while I'm drawing duty as, I am going to answer some questions. So this is duty as My Tour. My Tour is a 70s cartoon, and it's a mashup of duty as My Tour. So I received a bunch of questions over the past couple of months, and I haven't had time to actually do Q&A, so I'm going to do it here. And let's see. The first question is, how many conventions did you do in 2023? So I did 5 conventions in 2023. I would have loved to have done more, but that's what I've done in 2023. I did the Central Texas Comic Con. I did the Puerto Rico Comic Con. I did the Denton Comic Art Expo. I did the Arlington Comic Fest, and I did College Station Comic Con. The only one out of state was the Puerto Rico Comic Con. And if you missed that vlog on this channel, you check out my experience there. It was a mixed bag. I mean, while I sold over 100 books there, over 100 copies, I didn't make back my table. It was a big cost traveling out of state. But those are the 5 conventions that I did this year so far. And okay, so next question is, how many bookstore signings did you do? So I was invited to 2 comic shops 3 times. So with Geek Out Comics, I was there for I was there twice. I was there for a grand opening of their place, and I was there for Free Comic Book Day. So I was there for Free Comic Book Day. It was my first time at Geek Out, and then they opened up a new location, which I was invited to be for their grand opening, and so that was pretty dope. And then Collected Comics, I was there for their grand opening, which is on their channel right now and it's actually doing really well. It's almost 900 views. So 3 total, 2 different stores, but 3 total in this year. So there was 5 conventions and 3 in-store signings, total of 8 events. Okay. Next question: How many books have you sold? So if you're talking about total combined, right? So There's online on my website. There's at conventions. There's the book signings, and then there's crowdfunding. So if I had to total it all up, so online this year, I took a dip on my book sales. So I did about 100 copies, 100 books on my website. From conventions, from the 5 conventions, close to about 800 and change. It's a little over 800 copies of my books. That's between There's Nailing on My Toilet, all 5 issues, to Forbidden, to The Crazies, to my kids' books. So everything combined between my kids' books and everything, all the books total, not one specific book, a little over 800. Book signings, a little over 150 copies of book signings. And then crowdfunding about 200 copies. So if you take them all combined, about maybe 1,400 copies, 1,400 books were sold this year, on average. How many conventions will you do in 2024 and where? So 2024, I plan on staying in Texas. I don't plan on doing anything out of state. And I've already have 3 conventions lined up, and I'm waiting on confirmations for another 3. So the 3 that I have confirmed are the Texoma Comic Con, which is in Houston. The Superhero, that's in February. No, Texoma Comic Con is in. I'm sorry, that's not in Houston. Texoma is in. I forgot where it is. Anyway, I'll get back to it. Texoma Comic Con is in February. It's a drive away. Oklahoma. It's in Oklahoma. Superhero Comic Con is in June, and that's in San Antonio. Comic Palooza is in Houston. Those are the 3 confirmed. So the conventions that I want to repeat from this year are Central Texas Comic Con, which is in Waco. College Station Comic Con, which is in College Station. And I think I want to do Galaxy Con. I think that's what it is. There's a few other conventions I'm trying to secure, but so far confirmed are the 3, which is Texoma, Superhero Comic Con, and Comic Palooza. Those are the 3 that I'm definitely going to. Will you do shows outside of Texas? No. And I'll tell you why. If you watch my segment on the Puerto Rico Comic Con, I really run it down and I explain why I won't do it. It's very expensive. And if you can tell by how many books I've sold this year, I didn't sell enough to quit my job, right? All I sold was enough to pay the cost of shipping and printing. This is the cost of doing business. There's no profit at all. And I do this, I have 2 full-time jobs, right? So the job that I work that pays the bills, and then this job. And I put in, so my real job, I work in retail, I put in about 55 to 60 hours a week. And then my art, which my comic books and the podcasting and the vlog, I put in about maybe 40 hours a week. So about 100 hours a week are working. And whatever's remaining, I dedicate it to family. And it's not fair to the family, but that's the reality of where I am right now. So out of state, it costs. It costs to ship your product. It costs, for the hotel and renting a car. If you're not close enough to the convention center, there's just a lot of added costs, and I don't make enough. I haven't made enough at conventions to justify the cost. So for me, Texas has enough shows, and I'll go as far as Oklahoma. They have enough shows for me to stay here, where I can drive, and I don't do any conventions in Texas that requires me to drive more than 5 hours. So that's basically what it is, just costly. Let's see, what's the next question? This is an interesting one. How old is too old to start in comics? Wow, that is an interesting question. So, I don't think it's about age. I think it's about what you want to get out of it. It's really about what you want to get out of it. Anybody that wants to do anything at any time in their life that inspires them, that motivates them, that they're passionate about. I don't put an age number, but the reality is, in comics, in independent comics, if you make it on your own, unless you're one of the lucky few that you wrote something, created something, caught the eye of some producer and next year, or publisher, and your career just takes off. It's very challenging. You know, if you're looking to start late in the game, whether it's in your 30s, 40s, 50s, number one, it's going to cost you. Do you have the money? If you're looking to produce it, print it, try to get distribution, it's going to cost. Is it worth it? Number two, are you doing it as a hobbyist? 3, a lot of sacrifice. And you have to have the support of your family, the partnership and support of your family. If they're not all in with you, it's going to be a tough run for you, because you're going to have to justify why you're committing so much time to this endeavor, which isn't bringing you income. So there's a lot of factors. You know, it's a tough position for me to take. But I say is, if you're passionate about it, if you did your research, if you understand what you're getting yourself into, it's a really tough endeavor. At this point, I haven't made enough to be able to do this full time. So I just love what I'm doing. So, you know, for me, it's just looking at the end product, right? Drawing every day, having fun. So all depends on what you want to get out of it. Who am I to tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it? As long as you're having fun, you love it, go ahead and do it, man. Just do it. Now, if you're going to do it digital versus traditional, that's also, if you're going to do it traditionally, it's going to cost you, right? Inks, papers, pencils, all those things, erasers, all that stuff. If you're going to do it digitally, you got to have a graphic tablet, all those other things. I mean, I can go into that even more if you want to, but that's what I have for today. Thank you.